Are you getting enough sleep? Hi everyone, Angus Pryor here, #1 Google Rent Dental marketer in Australia and practice growth specialist, bringing this special show, weekly show, Winning in Business, the weekly show to help you boost your business. Now, you might be thinking, well, why are we talking about sleep if we're talking about a show about winning in business? This, in fact, we're part of a series about becoming a learning machine. I read you a quote last week from a guy called Charlie Munger. I'll just remind you of that quote because it's one that's worth. So this guy's a billionaire, a business partner of Warren Buffett. I think he's in his 80s now, and he said, "I constantly see people rise in life. That's what we want. Who are not the smartest, sometimes not even the most diligent, but they are learning machines. They go to bed a little wiser than when they got up, and boy, does that help, particularly when you have a long life ahead of you." I certainly hope you have a long life ahead of you, and I certainly hope that through this series, I can help you be someone who's going to rise in life. Now, when it comes to sleep, for us to be a learning machine, part of the principle there is that we need to learn. And I think that requires us to make a conscious act in relation to our sleep. Apparently, one of the things that helps us sleep, there's an optimum temperature. And the truth is, I've recently moved. I lived in a warmer climate and I've moved to a cooler climate. Apparently, the optimum temperature in your bedroom is about 17 degrees. And where we were living before was that bit warmer, and the temperature in our bedroom, we do have a thermometer, was more like sort of 20, 22. And I've noticed as it's a bit cooler down here, that in fact, I've been sleeping better. And the trick to becoming a learning machine is to make sure that you're deliberate and you're conscious about, actually sort of making a study. And ideally, what you should aim for is doing something for a couple of weeks. You go, I'm going to test for me. The other area that's definitely worth looking at with your sleep is how long should you sleep for? Because apparently Arnold Schwarzenegger, who's been incredibly productive in his life when you think about it, he only needs to sleep 5.5 hours. But most studies point to the fact that we need around probably 7 to 8 hours. But here's the trick. If you want to go to bed a bit wiser, if you want to be a learning machine, then do a test for you. And so one thing you might test is your temperature, and maybe you just, I don't know whether you've got an air conditioner or whatever it is, but just test it for a week and just make a note. How did I sleep last night? Try and get around that 17 degrees. That seems to work for most people, according to the studies. And then the second part is how long do you sleep for? As much as that's true for most people, it's around that 8-hour mark. You might be able to get away with less. You might need more. Like, I've actually done a bit of a test myself for this. Remember, we want to be learning machines. And for me, my time in bed where I feel like I've got the most energy, which is what I certainly need and want during the day, I probably need about 8.25 hours, maybe 8.5. But the way for you to find this out is to do a test. So it's pretty simple. I suggest only test one variable at a time. Maybe just choose temperature and focus on that for just a week. Just say to your partner, hey, I'm not making any permanent change. I just want to test this for a week. Would that be okay? And then pay attention to the results, and then off you go. And then another one is to test the number of hours. And look, some of you say, Angus, you don't know how busy my life is. But I guess my question is, are you happy to just keep getting what you've got? Because if you're not, then you're going to need to make a change. But rather than feeling like you've got to make this massive kind of fork in the road change, just do a little experiment. Do it for a week, do it for 2 weeks, pay attention to the results, and then if it doesn't work, try something else. So we want to be learning machines, and for this week, our homework is around sleep. Catch you next time on Winning in Business. But before I do that, I do have a freebie for you. I've got a free training video program. If you would like to learn more about how to attract high quality patients, then if you visit anguspryor.com/HQ for high quality, that's my free gift to you. Otherwise, catch you next time on Winning in Business.